I want to eat apples and bananas.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2, in conjunction with Colfax High School, presents Viking Pregame. A look at today's Colfax Vikings boys game. And now, Viking Pregame.
Good evening and welcome to the NLWN2 studios. Rick Olson here, and tonight the 7-11 Colfax Vikings, who are 4-5 in the Dunn St. Croix Conference, are getting ready to take on one of the teams sitting atop the Dunn St. Croix Conference, the Spring Valley Cardinals, who are 8-1 in the conference, as well as 14-4 overall. The Vikings are coming off a 53-43 win against the Boyceville Bulldogs in a game which saw Viking Elijah Ensminger reach a milestone by scoring his 1,000th point on Tuesday. The Cardinals are coming off a 61-39 win over the Glenwood City Hilltoppers also on Tuesday. In tonight's edition of Viking Pregame, we'll take a look at tonight's matchup between the Spring Valley Cardinals and the Colfax Vikings. Then we'll take a quick look at where things stand in the Dunn St. Croix Conference. Following that, our broadcast crew will bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game. So it's time to get ready for some exciting high school boys basketball. All that coming up right after this brief timeout. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu.
We don't have time for delays.
We don't have time for spills.
Next.
We don't have time for setbacks. Let's be real.
Getting the flu shot
Helps you fight the flu.
Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame, where we're getting ready to bring you all the action of tonight's game with a Dunn St. Croix Conference matchup between the conference-leading Spring Valley Cardinals and the Colfax Vikings. The 7-11 Vikings, who are 4-5 in the Dunn St. Croix, are hoping to build upon their success following their 53-43 victory over the Boyceville Bulldogs on Tuesday. The Cardinals, who are tied for first place in the Dunn St. Croix, are sitting at 14-4 overall, as well as 8-1 in the Dunn St. Croix Conference, and they're hoping to secure their hold on the top spot in the conference. In the Vikings' triumph over Boyceville, the Vikings were led in scoring by 5'9" senior Elijah Ensminger, who hit on 8 field goals, including 4 three-pointers for 20 points. In addition, he scored a three-pointer with 10:33 remaining in the game to achieve the 1,000-point mark for his high school career.
Bounces it to Ensminger for 3, drains it. And a timeout called by Colfax. And that's the 1,000 points for Elijah Ensminger.
He was followed by 5'11" junior Aiden Fisher, who scored on 5 from the floor, including 2 three-pointers and hitting his only shot from the charity stripe for 13 points. Eli Ralph also hit double digits by adding 10 points. Now, the Spring Valley Cardinals climbed into a tie for first place in the Dunn St. Croix Conference following a 61-39 win over the Glenwood City Hilltoppers, along with an Elk Mound 59-54 victory over the Durand, Arkansas Panthers. Now, so far this season, Spring Valley is being led by 6-foot junior Cade Stashik, who's shooting 40% from the floor, including 35% from beyond the three-point arch and 63% from the free throw line, while averaging nearly 15.5 points per game. He's followed by 5'10" senior forward Jamison Bauer, who's hitting on 36% from the floor, including 30% from three-point land, as well as 79% from the free throw line, while averaging over 11 points per game. Mason Wolf is also scoring in double digits by adding over 10 points per game. Wolf and Stashik also lead the Cardinals in rebounding by pulling down 9 and 8 boards per game, respectively. Now, thus far this season, the Vikings are being led in scoring by the newest member of the 1,000-point club, Elijah Ensminger, who is averaging over 17.5 points per game. Aiden Fisher is also scoring in the double digits with an average of 15.5 points per game. Mason Yarrington and Eli Ralph are also contributing over 5 points per game each. Now, leading the way rebounding for the Vikings is Fisher, who's grabbing almost 6.5 boards per game, with Eli Ralph and Orion Nichols grabbing right around 4 each. Now, coming up next, following this timeout, we'll get the coach's perspective as we chat with Viking head coach Mark Knoll on Coach's Corner. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
Here's Grandma Florence after that flood wiped out the whole neighborhood. Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here. I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe, and is the best way to protect that legacy.
Your family is your legacy. Planning for a natural disaster will make sure you're all safe. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today.
time now to see what the coaches have to say. It's Coach's Corner, where they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. And now, Coach's Corner.
So once again, we're talking with Viking boys head coach Mark Knoll on Coach's Corner. And Coach, tonight, the Vikings take on a conference leader. But before we get to that, let's look back at Tuesday, where the Vikings defeated the Boyceville Bulldogs 53-43. What are your thoughts on that game?
Well, I was very happy for our boys to get the win at home. I thought they played really hard. I thought they competed at a high level on the defensive end. Holding Boyceville to 43 points is an excellent job. And then I thought we executed well. I thought we executed on the offensive end and got the shots that we wanted and shot a decent percentage, almost 40% for the game. And then obviously Elijah, had his 1,000 points, and he's one of 9 kids to do that in Colfax basketball the last 60 years, so that's a pretty amazing feat.
You just mentioned it in that game. Elijah Ensminger, he hit that milestone of 1,000 points. Tell us a little bit about how important it is to have a young man like Elijah on your team.
Well, I think, what he does for us, and that maybe some people don't see on the outside when you just come to games, or what we get to see every day in practice, is that he competes on every single drill that we have. He doesn't take drills off. He wants to win every drill that he's in. So he sets a pace and a tone for our practices and plays really hard, and that shows younger kids how you have to compete at a high level. And that's how he was able to accomplish 1,000 points, because he brings it every day in practice. He doesn't just try to turn it on during game time.
And in fact, that sometimes is put into one word called leadership, and he's bringing that to the team.
Yes, that's what that does. It brings leadership, with his effort and energy every single day. That's the leadership that you're talking about. Yes, 100%.
Well, tonight the Vikings are going to take on the Dunn St. Croix Conference co-leaders in the Spring Valley Cardinals. What can you tell us about the Cardinals?
Well, obviously the Cardinals are a very good team. They have a great record. I believe they have only 4 losses on the year total with non-conference, games. But they have a Hall of Fame coach, and they have a player that's going to be up for Player of the Year in Stashik, and they're just not going to beat themselves. They're a team that's going to just execute. They're going to play half-court man defense. That's just what they do. And they're going to be in the gaps, and you're going to have to make some shots against them, and you're going to have to out-execute them and not turn the ball over.
Sounds to me like it's a case of poise and discipline on the Vikings' part if they want to have a chance to fight with them.
Yes, that's what it's going to come down to, is just our discipline and our energy level. And I think we're capable of this. We've talked about with the kids for 2 days that, why not? We're able. Last 5 games, I felt we've played really good basketball. We only had about a 12-minute stretch there versus Regis in the first half that we did not play well. Other than that, we've played really well as of late, which, and that's what you want at the end of the year.
Now, the Cardinals and the Vikings faced each other back on December 15th, with Spring Valley coming out on top 59-45. But as you just said, the Vikings have been playing much better as of late. What do you look for different this time around?
Well, in that game where we lost by 14, it was really like a 6-point game, majority of the game or less. It was a really good game, and it kind of felt it went to the wayside there late when we had to foul a bunch at the end, and they made their free throws. They stepped up. They had a couple kids step up. They had one kid, and I don't remember names right now, but numbers I remember. Number 11 made 2 threes, and that was a season high of 8 points for him. And then number 5 had 8 points, and that was his second high of the year. So those 2 kids there stepped up and was the difference in the game, last time. So we've got to know where they are this time, not let them get open shots, and try to do what we can to contain the other ones, and especially Stashik, because he's the key to their team. He holds the keys to their whole thing. So if we can contain him, that's going to help us.
Well, Coach Knoll, good luck on tonight's game. Hopefully, the Vikings can play a little bit of a spoiler and mess up those Dunn St. Croix Conference standings and come away with the win.
Thank you very much. Go Vikings.
You've been listening to Coach's Corner, with a look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual, and she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, "Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you and we'll figure it out."
Welcome back to Viking Pregame, as we're getting ready to bring you tonight's Dunn St. Croix Conference game, pitting the Colfax Vikings against the Dunn St. Croix Conference leading Spring Valley Cardinals. Now, before we get into tonight's game, it would be a good idea to take a look around the Dunn St. Croix Conference to see where things stand. Now, last Tuesday, the Dunn St. Croix had a complete set of games played. Now, that would include the Colfax Vikings defeating the Boyceville Bulldogs 53-43, while the Spring Valley Cardinals topped the Glenwood City Hilltoppers 61-39. The Elmwood Plum City Wolves edged the Mondovi Buffaloes 58-53, while in a major upset, the Elk Mound Mounders topped the Durand, Arkansas Panthers 59-54. Now, that caused a few changes in the Dunn St. Croix Conference standings, which are as follows. Tied for first place with an 8-1 records are the Durand, Arkansas Panthers and the Spring Valley Cardinals. In third place at 8-2 and only a half game behind are the Elk Mound Mounders. In fourth place are the Colfax Vikings with a 4-5 record and 4 games behind the leaders. Fifth place belongs to the City Hilltoppers at 3-6, and in sixth place we find the Boyceville Bulldogs at 3-7. In seventh place lie the Elmwood Plum City Wolves, while eighth place belongs to the Mondovi Buffaloes. Now, tonight, in addition to the Vikings taking on the Cardinals in Spring Valley, the Dunn St. Croix Conference has scheduled the Elmwood Plum City Wolves to travel to Durand to face the Arkansas Panthers, while the Mondovi Buffaloes will host the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. Tonight, the Vikings will try to build upon their success from their victory on Tuesday night by upsetting the Spring Valley Cardinals. Now, earlier this season, the Cardinals defeated the Vikings 59-45 back on December 15th. The Vikings would very much like to get some revenge and play a little havoc with the conference standings. The Cardinals, on the other hand, would like to solidify their hold on the conference top spot. So the stage is set for some exciting boys high school basketball, and we'll have all the action for you right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. Now, in just a moment, we'll send it out to our broadcast crew at Spring Valley High School as we bring you all the action of tonight's Dunn St. Croix Conference battle between the Colfax Vikings and the Spring Valley Cardinals. That's all coming up next. You've been tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
You know you don't have to wear your PT gear anymore, right?
It's comfortable.
So how's civilian life treating you?
It's fine.
When I got out, I didn't want to admit that there was anything wrong because I felt like a failure. And then I realized, there's nothing to be ashamed of. So I started talking to someone. Maybe you are fine, but if you're not, it's okay.
Thank you.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
You've been tuned to Viking Pregame with a look at today's Colfax Viking Boys game. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. Stay tuned. Coming up next is live Colfax Viking basketball. It happens to everyone eventually. Your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Sladen's Technology Services can help when your computer decides to not cooperate. It can be very frustrating. Let Slayton's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Slayton's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Slayton's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Slayton's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
In November of 2018, our daughter Jana passed away. The outpouring of support was unbelievable. Support that we received inspired us to start a foundation called the Jana Kelly Memorial Foundation. And through that foundation,
we've given back in a lot of different ways, through projects, through different other charities that we've supported. We like to help Humane Association, and the Ronald McDonald House is something that's very near and dear to us. We've also recently, this last year, we actually built a tiny house. It's really exciting to be able to give back in different ways.
To learn more or to help financially, find us on Facebook or www.janakelly.com.
Colfax Viking Boys Basketball is on the air.
He'll pass it out to Blake Johnson. He'll take the shot for 3. Vikings.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network, along with NLWN2, is excited to bring you Colfax High School Boys Basketball.
Springer down inside to Hoffman. He'll drive the right side of the lane, pop it up from 6. Good.
Join us as we follow the Vikings while they battle their way through the Dunn St. Croix Conference.
Charlo out to Ensminger for 3. He hits it!
And now out to the gym for today's Colfax Viking basketball.
Good evening. Welcome to Spring Valley for tonight's Dunn St. Croix game between the Spring Valley Cardinals and the Colfax Vikings. Let's go to the sideline.
And the host, Spring Valley Cardinals. To make the starting lineups first for the Vikings. A junior, number 4, Aiden Fisher. A senior, number 10, Elijah Ensminger. A senior, number 15, Mason Yarnke. A senior, number 23, Blake Johnson. And a senior, number 33, Eli Ralph. The Vikings are coached by Mr. Mark Dole, assisted by Tristan Kittleson and Nick Height. And now for the host, Spring Valley Cardinals. A junior, number 2, Kane Stashik. A senior, number 10, Kaden Robilia. A senior, number 25, Diego Schmidt. A senior, number 32, Jameson Fowler. And a junior, number 34, Mason Wolf. The Cardinals will head coached by Mr. Rob Foster, assisted by Matt Double, Sean Hornigan, and Tyler Anderson.
So again, the starters for tonight's game for Spring Valley: Cade Stashik, 6-foot junior guard; Caden Robilia, number 10, 5'10" senior guard; 5'10" senior guard Diego Schmidt, number 25, Jamison Bauer, number 32, 5'10" senior forward, and Mason Wolf at the point, 6'6" junior. And ball tipped into the air, and it will go to the Cardinals. Stashik will get it in the backcourt and bring it across the timeline. Up on top, on the left wing, it goes to Bauer. Stashik back up on top. And down on the baseline, it goes to Stashik. Stashik up, misses the shot, but the reload going up by Mason Wolf. And he's fouled on the way up, and we have a foul already. So on the free throw line is Mason Wolf, 6'6" junior point. And the first free throw missed. We're still scoreless. 26 seconds into the ball game. Colfax and Spring Valley. Spring Valley tied for first in the DSC with an 8-1 record. They're 14-4 in the season. No points out of that, and Diego Schmidt was going for the ball, and it looked like one of the Vikings touched it first. Colfax in road red, white numerals, and Spring Valley in home white with maroon numerals and trim. Valley keeps the ball in their end. It's Robilia up to Stashik. Stashik out to Diego Schmidt. To Robelia. Back free throw line right. Now open, Caden Robelia. Down in the near corner, it's Jamison Bauer. Misses, but the reload up and in for Diego Schmidt. First points of the game, 2-0 Spring Valley. 17 minutes to go in the half. And the Vikings bringing it out of the backcourt. It's Ensminger. Just over 1,000 points in his career. Passes over to open floor, but Mason Harrington got there. And then to Johnson, back to Ensminger. Spring Valley in a man-to-man. Yarrington give and go over to Fisher on the far side. Out to Blake Johnson. Johnson caught on the baseline, and he's called for traveling. 16:32 left to go in the first half. 2-0 Spring Valley. Cardinals to throw it in. It goes into Stashik from Bauer. Stashik dishes it off on the right wing, then down inside to Wolf. Wolf going up, and he's called for traveling. Still 2-0 Spring Valley. Colfax is going to get another shot to even this up here. Johnson and Ensminger out of the backcourt for the Vikings. Left side to Yarrington, top of the key, over to Johnson. Johnson out to Schwartz, then back over to Fisher. Fisher over to the free throw line, looking to get rid of it. Bounces it back to Johnson. Ensminger will drive in from free throw line right. Over to Schwartz, back to Fisher. Fisher heading toward the lane, back to Johnson. Ball slapped away by Spring Valley's Jamison Bauer. He assists Cade Stashik on a pass, and he puts in a basket. 4-0. 15:35 to go here in the first. Johnson over to Fisher. Down in the near corner to Yarrington. Three-point shot missed, but it went off the hands of Mason Wolf out of bounds, so Colfax will keep it on their end. It's 4-0 Spring Valley, 15:18 to go here in the first half. Blake Johnson, who is going to be our halftime Viking profile, to throw the ball in, finds Aiden Fisher. Fisher guarded by Diego Schmidt. Spring Valley man-to-man, back out to Yarrington, to Johnson, to Ensminger. He's at the free throw line, extended right. Back over to Fisher. Fisher in the corner, up on top to Johnson. Johnson pops it up from 10, bangs around and then out. Rebounded by Spring Valley's Cade Stashik. Stashik with a layup miss, tipped to Yarrington from Ensminger. And they're going to say one of those guys was on the end line.
Yeah, Mason Yarrington caught the ball and his heel was on the line.
So to throw it in, Cade Stashik underneath the basket on the left side finds Diego Schmidt. Schmidt goes up and he draws a foul from Fisher.
25.
No, they have the wrong number on the scoreboard. That's why I'm confused. I confuse very easily, so. Diego Schmidt.
Yeah, the ref said 25.
And that one rolls out no good. But getting over there to get the rebound is Mason Wolf to Stashik. Stashik out to Schmidt. From the baseline, 10-footer good for Cade Stashik. And the officials are talking here with 6-0 on the scoreboard. Spring Valley with the lead. Yeah. Well, now they're talking to Mason Yarrington.
Yeah, maybe it was on Mason. that last foul. Nope. It's going to be on Fisher.
Yep. And they're, well, still don't have it right on the scoreboard, but oh, now they do. Now coming out of the backcourt with it is Ensminger. Ensminger to Fisher. Fisher loses the ball in the lane. Schwartz tries to get it back, but it's taken out by Mason Wolf, who gets it to Cade Stashik. Stashik makes a move on Ensminger. Ensminger after the ball. Stashik goes up, rolls off, no good. Rebound, reload. Mason Wolf, good. It's 8-0 Spring Valley. We're approaching 14 minutes to go here in the first half. Ensminger with the ball up on top. Ensminger to Fisher. Fisher back to Ensminger. Ensminger give and go to Yarrington. Yarrington finds a space to go in, and they knock the ball away from him, and coming up with it is Wolf for Spring Valley. Cardinals are going to bring it out of the backcourt. Stashik, one-handed throw to the right to Bauer, and then out to Caden Robelia, who is fouled. And that will be another foul on Aiden Fisher, and that's his second already. 13:32 left in the first half. First free throw is good. Edwards and Schwartz. No, check that. Ralph and Schwartz switching places. On the free throw line, Robelia for Valley. That bounces out. Ball goes loose. They're going to let it go out of bounds. It's going back to the Cardinals. 13:29 to go in the first. It's 9-0 Spring Valley. And we have a timeout on the floor. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
Dairy State Bank encourages you to save smarter for your retirement by maximizing possible tax advantages. We offer traditional, Roth, and rollover IRAs with a wide variety of investment options. It's not too late to invest up to $6,500 of possible tax-deferred earnings into an IRA for 2023 tax purposes, or $7,500 if you're 50 or better. Call or stop by for more information. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
13:29 remaining in the first half. It is 9-0 Spring Valley out in front of the Colfax Vikings. Inbounds throw goes into Stashik. Stashik underneath to Mason Wolf, and he puts it up and in on the left side. It's 11-0 Spring Valley. Ensminger with the ball for the Vikings. Ensminger flips it to Fisher, or Johnson, sorry. And then that ball got knocked out of bounds by Schmidt. So Blake Johnson is going to throw it in for Colfax. Goes way out on top. Grabbing it is Ryan Nichols. Back to Ensminger. Ensminger's going to set it up for the Vikings. Drives around a screen from Ralph, and it is no good. Rebound pulled out of there by Cade Stashik. And Stashik slips on the floor but gets a pass under there. Spring Valley fighting for that rebound. They can't get that one, so that one will be going back to the Vikings. Earlier this morning, Puxatawny Phil did not see a shadow. That means an early spring. With spring comes baseball. We have quite a lineup for you on NLWN TV. We'll start with Colfax Viking baseball beginning on April 1st, and then we'll once again carry Eau Claire Cavalier baseball. All summers they battle through the Chippewa River Baseball League. Early spring means plenty of baseball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Going back and wiping up the floor, where I think it was Stashik that slipped and ended up on his back. Now Colfax will bring it out. Ensminger to Ralph, free throw line right. Ralph driving in. And there'll be a foul called on Caleb Bartko of the Spring Valley Cardinals. That is his first and the first for Spring Valley in this first half. Spring Valley 11, Colfax nothing. Vikings trying to get something on the board here. Johnson fires it into Nichols. Nichols, side of the lane, goes back to Johnson, then over to Ensminger. Ensminger into Ralph. Ralph, corner of the lane, feeds it back to Ensminger, out to Yarrington. Ensminger, top of the key. Ensminger going to go in lots of traffic, goes up with a shot, and then over to Johnson, missed, rebounded by the Cardinals, Stashik. Stashik up on the left side over to Jamison Bauer. Bauer back to Trevor Forster. Underneath, Caleb Bartko goes in with a straight-on layup, and it's 13-0 Spring Valley. And now it almost looked there like Ensminger had Stashik in a headlock. You don't get takedown points in basketball, so it would have been 2, sources tell me. Ensminger out of the backcourt. Ensminger give and go to Nichols, then to Johnson, over to Ensminger, three-point shot, good! First points of the night for the Vikings, 13-3, 11:36 to go, first half. Spring Valley with the ball. Trevor Forster back and forth with Caleb Bartko. Ball handed off to Stashik, free throw line right. Back up to Forster. Other side, Jamison Wolf, or that's Schmidt. Right side, Forster on the baseline, out on top to Bartko. Then to Stashik. Stashik from the parking lot, no good. Rebound pulled out of there well by Orion Nichols. And the Vikings will bring it up the floor. Ensminger across the timeline over on the far side, give and go to Hovde. And Orion Nichols dragged his pivot foot trying to figure out what to do with the ball. 10:49 to go first half, 13-3. Spring Valley out in front of Colfax. And substitutions are all in. Let's see, and we've got 5 for each team. We're ready to roll here. Bauer to Stashik. Stashik across the Cardinal beak over on the far side to Forster. Top of the key, Elijah Poland. Back to Trevor Forster. Cade Stashik fires a pass in the far corner to Bartko. It gets by him. Colfax will get it back. 10:33 left first half. Spring Valley 13, Colfax 3. Ensminger fires off to Hovde, then to Nichols, driving in Fisher, and a player control foul on Aiden Fisher. That is his 3rd foul, and we have not even played 8 minutes. Over on the far side, Jamison Bauer. Cade Stashik comes out of the backcourt, out to Elijah Poland. Back to Forster. Trevor Forster, a 5'10 junior guard. Back to Stashik. Forster down underneath, shot rolls out, no good, rebounded by Blake Johnson. Johnson bringing it up the floor, shoots it off in the corner to Theo Hovde. Hovde trying to get it inside to Schwartz. Picked off by Spring Valley. Stashik, top of the key. Stops, pops it up from 8, around the rim and in. 15-3 Spring Valley, approaching 9.5 minutes to go in the first. Elijah Ensminger, top of the key, three-pointer. That one rolls out. Blake Johnson comes up with a rebound. He tries to go up, ball stolen right out of his hands by Cade Stashik. Stashik fires it over to Poulin on too hard of a pass. Goes flying into the third row of Colfax adults. And the Vikings get it back. And out of the backcourt comes Blake Johnson. To Ensminger. Ensminger up from 10. Shot falls short, rebounded by Stashik of the Cardinals. Stashik to Bauer, trying to get it inside to Wolf, stolen away by Johnson. Johnson for the Vikings at the free throw line, fires it over to Nichols to Ensminger. Ensminger top of the key, good for 3. 15-6 Vikings. Crawling back into this one, 8:38 to go first half. Over on the right side, Forrester down underneath to Wolf. And Wolf's going to be called for a player control foul this time. So Colfax will bring it down. Join NLWN TV along with the Northern Light Webcasting Network on this Tuesday night, February 6th, as the Viking girls take on the Elmwood Plum City Wolves in a Colfax in a Dun St. Croix Conference matchup. Live coverage will begin with Viking pregame at about 6:40, followed by all the live play-by-play action. Tuesday night, girls host Elmwood Plum City, and Orion Nichols puts in a nice layup on the left side. And flying around with a reverse layup goes over Caden Robelia, and it is rebounded by Ensminger. Ensminger waits, gives it back to Johnson. At the top of the wheel, Johnson goes up off the glass short, gets his own rebound, fires it out to Hubdy. Hubdy to Ensminger. Ensminger for 3, doesn't go. Schwartz fighting for it, can't get to it. Stashik will come out with it. Stashik up the floor to Robelia. In the middle of Bauer, back over on the left side to Poulin. Poulin pops it up from the corner of the lane, falls short, and ball tipped back in there, going up. And we are going to have a big foul, a good foul on Elijah Ensminger. He put everything he had into that one.
Yeah, 6'6". Against what, 5 something?
Yep.
Almost got the block.
5'9". First free throw is good. 7:37 remains in the first. Boys play again Thursday night at Elk Mound. Live coverage begins with Viking pregame at 6:40, followed by play-by-play. That'll be on Thursday night, Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. Second free throw good as well. 17-8, Spring Valley leading Colfax. Ensminger, top of the key, shoots it for 3. Bounces off big there with a rebound. Spring Valley's Diego Schmidt. To Cade Stashik, back up high to Robelia. Up to Trevor Forster. To Schmidt, and then back to Robelia. Keeping it high up on top. Vikings going still in a man-to-man. They get inside to Mason Wolf, and Wolf's going to be called for a player control foul. That is his second foul of the half.
Yeah, good job by Logan Schwartz to get set. Wolf gave him that little extra bump.
7 minutes to go, first half. Ensminger with the ball. 10 on 10 there. Blake Johnson comes to help him out. Out to Yarrington, fires to Ensminger. Ensminger looks at a 20-footer. He'll fly in instead and put in the layup. And on his way in, he's fouled by Cade Stashik of the Cardinals. So Ensminger's going to try to finish off a three-point play here. Both teams in double digits now. Spring Valley 17, Colfax 10. This free throw could pull the Vikings to within 6, and he does. So Spring Valley brings it out of the backcourt. Stashik, right side of the jump circle, fires over to Robelia. Back up on top to Forster. Forster, Robelia. Fires off on the left side to Schmidt. Schmidt going in, comes back out. Forster. Then to Rebelia. Out free throw line right to Bauer. Three-pointer missed. Tipped back to Logan Schwartz. Vikings will bring it up to their end again. Ensminger driving from the free throw lane. Puts it up and in! 6 minutes left, first half, and the Vikings pull to within 4 at 17-13. Spring Valley. Pass goes flying into Diego Schmidt. Schmidt to Forrester out on the right side. Stashik's got to reach for it. Big. Over on the far side, Forrester. Forster makes a move, dragged his back foot. 5:40 to go, first half. Spring Valley 17, Colfax 13. Elijah Ensminger crosses the timeline, give and go to Yerington, to Nichols, to Johnson. Johnson out to Schwartz. Schwartz to Ensminger. Ensminger driving in on the baseline, or toward the baseline, and he is fouled. That foul is on Caden Rebelia. And we have a timeout on the floor, 5:19 to go, first half. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
Are your animals feeling a little under the weather? Give the nice folks at Colfax Animal Hospital a call. Austin and Nikki Pritchard are just what the doctor ordered. In fact, they are the doctors and they're ready to help. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Give them a call at 715-962-3380.
Viking girls take on Elmwood, Plum City, and Colfax Tuesday night. Viking pregame at 6:40, followed by live play-by-play action. That's Colfax girls Tuesday night. Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Inbounds toss goes to Logan Schwartz in the corner. Blake Johnson comes back out to help him out. Ensminger drives in, loses the ball, and ends up dribbling it on the sidelines. It's going back to Spring Valley. 5:10 to go, first half. Spring Valley 17, Colfax 13. Stashik at the jump circle. Rebelia comes to help him out, and then a feed, a nice one to Stashik, who just tips it into the basket. 19-13 Valley. Ensminger out of the backcourt for the Vikings. Heads toward free throw line extended right, fires a pass to Orion Nichols. He'll give it back to Blake Johnson. Johnson will drive in, stops in the lane, turns around, 8-footer missed, rebounded by Schwartz. Outside to Orion Nichols for three. 19-16, Colfax trails Spring Valley by 3. Stashik out to Rebelia, to Jamison Bauer. Diego Schmidt back to Bauer, down in the near corner, Rebelia. Rebelia dishes a low pass down to Stashik, and he'll put it up from the top of the key. That falls short, gets his own rebound almost, and a scurry for it. It's Jamison Bauer picking it up. And it ends up in the hands of Trevor Forrester. Back over to Bauer. Bauer drives in, puts in a layup. 21-16, Spring Valley, 3:45 left to go in the first half. Elijah Ensminger hands it off to Yerington, to Nichols. Nichols from the side of the lane, good. 21-18, 3.5 minutes to go first half. Spring Valley with a narrow 3-point lead. Vikings have fought their way back into this one. Rebelia up high in the right wing, over to Bauer, then to Forster. Back in the middle to Rebelia. Outside three-pointer, Bauer drains it. And now it's back to a 6-point Spring Valley lead, 24-18. Approaching 3 minutes left in the first half. Ensminger from the sidelines. Good for 3. Colfax back to within 3. It's Stashik over to Forrester. Left side to Bauer. Bauer and trying to get in there. Stashik loses the ball. Ensminger takes it to the other end, goes up. No foul, but it went off one of the Cardinals. Checking in now for Spring Valley is Caleb Bartko. He's a 6'3" junior point man. And Blake Johnson is going to throw it in right side of the Colfax basket at the E in Spring Valley. Out on the top to Nichols, to Ensminger to set things up. Approaching 2.5 minutes to go in the first half. Nichols gets it from Ensminger. Johnson there to keep the ball in play. Yarrington back over to Ensminger, looks at a 3, goes up from the free throw line, bounces off, rebounded by Stashik. Stashik has to dribble between 2 Vikings, loses his dribble, now picks it up again, and we're going to have, let's see what the call is, we're going to have a foul on Elijah Ensminger. .209 remaining. First half, Spring Valley 24, Colfax 21. Jay Fall here with Dan Petchaw, camera operator Chris Olson, and executive producer Rick Olson. And the shot by Stashik missed. It's rebounded by Schwartz. He'll give it to Ensminger, who'll bring it up to the Colfax end. Give and go to Nichols. Nichols out to Hubdy. Hubdy out to Johnson. Johnson down in the far corner, back and forth with Hubdy. Now going to try the left side, gives it to Ensminger. Ensminger from 20, catches the back iron. Hubdy with a rebound. Now Johnson goes up for 3. And we're tied at 24 with 1.5 minutes to go in the first half. Down underneath, and Spring Valley's Caleb Bartko tries to drive in on the baseline, and he is fouled on the way in by Logan Schwartz. 1:22 left first half. Colfax 24, Spring Valley 24. Again, Spring Valley's tied for first in the Dunn St. Croix Conference with a record of 8-1. They are 14-4. And after the Cardinals took a huge lead, the Vikings have fought back and tied it at 24 about 8 seconds ago. Both free throws missed, and coming up with it is Schwartz. Schwartz to Ensminger. Colfax with the opportunity to take the lead back. For 3 ball, bounces out big, and we're going to have a foul called on Theo Hubdy. And so since the Vikings have 8 fouls, we're going to the other end for the bonus. Diego Schmidt to shoot 1+1. Fortunately, that's Hubdy's first foul of the game. Colfax has 5 fouls as a team. Diego, first shot, good. Boys play again at Elk Mound Thursday night. Dunn St. Croix matchup. Viking pregame starts at 6:40, followed by the live play-by-play action. Colfax boys Thursday night on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. That shot's missed. Last one to touch the ball, they say, was Schwartz. 1:05 left in the first. Stashik's going to throw it in underneath Spring Valley basket at the R in Spring Valley, over on the to Rebelia, back over in the corner, 3-pointer falls short. Theo Hubdy jumped up and grabbed that rebound. 50 seconds remaining. Hubdy gets the ball back from Ensminger to Nichols, back over to Ensminger. Spring Valley leads by 1. Blake Johnson is the Viking profile player at halftime. We hope you'll stick around and watch for that. Hensminger just holding the ball. They're going to try to run some time off here, get the lead back. Hensminger stops, goes to Hovney, back to Hensminger. 10 seconds left. And we get the countdown from the fans. Hensminger goes up too hard, but the reload, good for Logan Schwartz. And that's the end of the first half. The Colfax Vikings come from a deep deficit to take the lead at halftime, 26-25. We invite you now to stay tuned for Viking halftime coming your way next on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN 2.
When you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it, rest assured, you can still get that meal by going to Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Mom's is open daily, serving breakfast and lunch, and don't forget dinner on Friday nights with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee is always hot, the breakfast is always delicious, and lunch will put a smile on your face and in your stomach. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub.
To get your lawn or garden to perform at attracting what you want, you first need to know what your soil is working with. That's where Midwest Environmental Consultants can help. Their soil testing service can give you a complete rundown on your soil's nutrition and health. They test for nitrogen levels, phosphorus, potash, micronutrients, minerals, pH, and organic matter. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants put you in control of your soil's health. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. That's Midwest Environmental Consultants, serving Western Wisconsin.
When I was 10, my mom got deported. We had a difficult time, and I feel that's why I didn't get to finish school. My husband is really supportive in a way that he pushed me to go back to school.
She wants to have a career so her kids can look up to her.
They both keep me motivated to go to school, and they see that if I do it, like, they can do it too, you know? I feel that everything's possible.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
You've been tuned to Viking Halftime. Stay tuned. Coming up is second half action of today's game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN 2.
What are you doing in there?
What's that?
I wouldn't do that. What are you doing? What are you looking for?
Time now for Viking Halftime, with today's Viking profile and other halftime entertainment. That's coming up right after this.
Hey, boss. Okay?
I said I'm fine.
Me the babe, see you in the morning. With the frosted Superman, but it wasn't on it. And we lost it.
You can talk to me.
It's been really hard for me.
Time now for Viking Profile, where we take a closer look at one of the Colfax Viking players. And now, Viking Profile.
Today on Viking Profile, we're going to get to know Blake Johnson, who's a senior here at Colfax High School. And Blake, we know that you play basketball, but are you involved in any other activities here at school?
No, I am not.
Okay. All right. So
Do a whole lot.
That's all right. So when did you start playing basketball, and what kind of an experience has that been?
I started playing around the 4th grade, and it's been fun. You know, met a lot of people, played with a bunch of great guys. It's been an overall great experience.
Now, what's the most important thing that you've learned playing basketball?
Definitely trusting your teammates, you know, being there for them, and just being an overall great person.
And that they'll be in the right place at the right time?
Hopefully.
Okay. Otherwise, it doesn't look too good, does it?
Yeah, no, it does not.
So when you're not playing basketball or you're not here at school, what are some other things that keep you interested or occupied?
Hanging out with friends. Definitely a lot of golfing. You know, just got into that this summer. It's been a great time.
Okay. Got a couple rapid fire questions for you here. Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
I'm going to have to go with cookies.
Which kind?
Subway cookies.
The Subway
chocolate chip.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. All right. Hot dog, burger, or brats?
Burger.
And what do you want on that burger?
I'm just going to have to go with cheese and ketchup. Just keep it classic.
Classic and plain, and yeah, there you go. Favorite color?
Blue.
Any reason?
Color of my eyes.
There you go. I'll bet those girls like seeing that too, don't they?
Oh, definitely not.
Definitely not? Okay.
No.
If you could have a superpower, what do you think that might be?
I'm going to have to go with flying. You know, get to places quicker, and then I don't have to wake up as early.
Oh, good point. All right. Now, if you had the ability to fly, of course you have to have a superhero name to go with it. So what's Blake's superhero name?
Ooh, this is a tough one. I'm going to have to go with Fortnite Jonesy.
All right. All right, we'll live with that. All right. What's your favorite NBA team?
The Timberwolves.
Okay. And how about your favorite collegiate team?
The Gophers. Big Minnesota guy over here.
I can tell. Okay. I'll bet you're a Twins fan and a Vikings fan?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Is there a basketball player at any level of the sport who's kind of influenced the way you play the game?
Yeah, there's two of them. It's going to be my mom and Steph Curry. You know, enjoy shooting the threes, and all throughout my high school and middle school career, my mom's been there for me all the way.
Okay, very good. We're talking with Blake Johnson today on Viking Profile. And Blake, what are your plans for after high school?
Gonna go into the work field, probably do some road construction.
Okay, all right. How about a shout out to the family?
Yeah, I just like to thank my family for always supporting me throughout all my high school games, and always being there for me through the ups and downs.
Now, when people watch Viking games, what number you wear, and where are we going to find you on the floor?
I'm going back to number 23, Michael Jordan.
Okay, and where on the floor?
You know, point guard, hopefully, you know, wherever I can be.
Okay,
you know.
Whatever can help the team, right?
Yeah.
Very good. We want to thank Blake Johnson for joining us today on Viking Profile. Coming up next, more Viking Halftime.
You've been listening to Viking Profile. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcast Network.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
When I was 10, my mom got deported. We had a difficult time, and I feel that's why I didn't get to finish school. My husband is really supportive in a way that he pushed me to go back to school.
She wants to have a career so her kids can look up to her.
They both keep me motivated to go to school, and they see that if I do it, like they can do it too, you know? I feel that everything's possible.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
You've been tuned to Viking Halftime. Stay tuned. Coming up is second half action of today's game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
What are you doing in there?
What's that? I wouldn't do that. What are you doing? What are you looking for?
Colfax Vikings held scoreless for quite a while in the first half, fought from behind and lead at halftime, 26-25 over the Spring Valley Cardinals. Dan, how do we get there?
Yeah, here's the scores right now for Spring Valley. They're led by number 2, Cade Stashik. He has 8. Caden Robiel has 1. Bartko has 2. Schmidt has 3. Jamison Bauer has 5. And Mason Wolf has 6. For the Colfax Vikings, they're led right now by number 10, Elijah Ensminger. He has 14 points. Followed by Ryan Nichols with 7. We have Blake Johnson with 3. And Logan Schwartz with 2. 25-26, Colfax.
Well, with the weather the way it has been, it is hard not to think about baseball. And we've got a lot of it coming your way here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Starting with Colfax Viking Baseball beginning April 1st, and then again we'll carry the Eau Claire Cavaliers Baseball Club all summer as they battle through the Chippewa River Baseball League. So we invite you to join us for that. Viking girls next hosts Elmwood Plum City Tuesday night in Colfax. The boys will be on the road Thursday at Elk Mound. Coverage will begin for both of those contests with Viking pregame at 6:40, followed by the live play-by-play action. Girls on Tuesday, Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN TV, and the boys same except on NLWN2 Thursday. Cardinals starting with the ball, and it is Robelia firing off to Bauer. Bauer, three-point shot missed. Fight for the ball, and the winner, Logan Schwartz. So Colfax will have a chance to stretch their lead a bit here, and of course, we're moving in the other direction, so it's the Vikings in road red, white numerals and trim. Ensminger with the ball. Flips it to Nichols, over to Johnson. And Ensminger for 3. Hits the back iron, doesn't go. It's rebounded by Nate Schwartz. And Stashik across the timeline for Valley, over to Robelia. Schmidt drives the lane on the right side. That shot missed, going up again. That shot short for Mason Wolf. Reload isn't. Spring Valley now takes the lead. We're under 17 minutes left in the second half. Ensminger up high on the left side. Ensminger, one-handed bounce pass to Yarrington, flips it back to Johnson, and he's trying to drive toward the basket and is fouled on the way in by Spring Valley's Jamison Bauer. First foul of the second half, that's Bauer's first foul of the game. Elijah Ensminger is going to stand on the second L in Valley under the Colfax basket on the right side and throw it in to Logan Schwartz. Ensminger from the corner goes in, up from 10, good! Colfax takes the lead back, 28-27. Stashik halfway down to Schmidt. Over on the left side to Bauer. Bauer to Robelia. Robelia for 3, drains it. Now the Cardinals lead, 30-28 over Colfax. Elijah Ensminger with the ball for Colfax. Ensminger to Yarrington. Yarrington give and go to Johnson. Johnson, top of the key, swishes it for two. He was just inside the arch. We're tied at 30, 15:50 left, second half. Cade Stashik fires halfway down on the far side to Schmidt, then back up in the middle to Bauer. Over to Stashik, free throw line left. Stashik out to Robelia. Down in the corner to Schmidt. Schmidt from the corner. Bounces out. Rebounded by Logan Schwartz. Schwartz to Ensminger. Colfax will bring it up the floor. Ensminger tosses it to Yarrington. Take a quick look at a three ball, then to Johnson. Johnson will take the three-point shot, rolls off the front of one of the Cardinals and into the hands of Stashik. Stashik finds Orbelia, misses the shot, ball gets loose. It's going to Colfax. Ensminger from Johnson, and we'll bring it out of the backcourt. Ensminger give and go from Yarrington. Ensminger up from 10, good. Colfax back in the lead, 32-30, 14:45 left.
18 points for Ensminger.
Hubdy, nope, check that, that's Stashik. Stashik to Schmidt. Up on top, Stashik driving up and in, shot missed. Schwartz trying to knock it out of there, coming up with a rebound is Yarrington. Gets it to Johnson for Colfax. Johnson dribbling it up the floor to the free throw line, down on the left side, tries to go up, and it's going back to the Vikings. Colfax 32, Spring Valley 30, 14-16 left in the second half. And Ensminger for three. Bounces off the iron, pulled out of there by Stashik. Stashik with a quick pass up the floor to Robelia. He puts in a layup, and we're tied at 32. 14 minutes remaining second half. Ensminger, give and go. From Nichols, corner of the lane, up Ensminger, shot rolls out. Trying to get the rebound is Ensminger, but he ends up running into Caden Robelia, who actually got the ball. Spring Valley will hang on to it. That's the third foul charged to Elijah Ensminger. Then one team foul apiece here in the second half for Spring Valley and Colfax. Stashik with the ball. Give and go to Schmidt. Back over to Bauer. Bauer ends up on the baseline, tosses it to Stashik. Stashik drives in, up from 10. Shot falls short. Coming up with the rebound is Mason Wolf and loses it. Ball goes out of bounds. It's going to Colfax. 32 all, 13:29 to go, second half. Mason Yarrington's going to throw it into Elijah Ensminger, and we're back to action. Ensminger crosses the 10-second line, flips it back to Yarrington. Yarrington to Fisher. Back in the middle to Schwartz. Back to Ensminger from Fisher. Ensminger up high on the right side, heads toward the baseline, up from 12, rolls off, no good. And ball got by Yarrington, quickly up the floor, it goes to Diego Schmidt. He misses it, or he got the shot, or missed it. And we're going to have a foul charge to Cade Stashik. That's his second. Now Ralph and Schwartz switching places. Johnson inside to Ensminger. Ensminger looks at a three-pointer and will fire it over to Yarrington instead. Yarrington out to Johnson. To Fisher. Fisher driving in, and I think he was fouled on the way in, it looks like. And the foul's going to be charged to Diego Schmidt. That is his first That's the third foul of the second half for Spring Valley. We're tied at 32 with 12:36 remaining second half. Inbounds to Ralph. Ralph gives it back to Johnson, to Ensminger. Ensminger takes it back to the center jump circle. Fires off to the left to Fisher. And we'll go back to the center jump circle. Fires off to the right. Pass was short, and Stashik comes up with it. He looks at a three-pointer. He'll fire it over to Robelia. He'll take a shot and miss, rebounded by Fisher of the Vikings. Fisher up the floor, stops at the top of the key to Yarrington for three. Rolls off the front iron, rebounded by Cade Stashik. Stashik for Spring Valley tosses it to Bauer, free throw line left, out to Robelia. Back to Stashik, free throw line right. He'll bowl it inside to Wolf. Wolf outside to Bauer. Bauer trying to drive in. Scoops it back to Stashik for three from the top of the key. And we have a timeout on the floor. 11:32 remaining second half. It is Spring Valley 35, Colfax 32. You're watching Vikings Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN 2.
Anderson Bridges, located in Colfax, Wisconsin, has been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. With hundreds of bridges supplied nationwide, we suspect you've crossed our path. It may have been on a pedestrian or bicycle bridge, or how about a snowmobile, ATV, or golf course bridge? Anderson Bridges is likely to have manufactured it. Founded in 1989, Anderson Bridges has been a family-owned company since its beginning and are proud to support the Colfax Vikings.
C&K Construction is your source for high-quality concrete and construction work in the Chippewa Valley. Established in 2014, C&K Construction in Chippewa Falls is a leading concrete contractor proud to serve Eau Claire, Altoona, Menominee, and surrounding areas. Specializing in concrete construction, excavating, flatwork poured walls, and much more, they're right for all of your concrete needs. Call C&K Construction in Chippewa Falls at 715-559-1335.
Spring Valley 35, Colfax 32. 11:32 remaining second half. 3 fouls for Spring Valley, 1 for Colfax here in the second half. Yarrington tosses it in to Blake Johnson. We're underway again. Johnson bounces it to Fisher. Fisher goes up with a shot, bounces around and out, but he's going to get 2 free throws. He was fouled in the act of shooting. That is going to be charged to Tanner Dykes. First free throw is good. And that is the second time that number 25 got credited for a foul on the scoreboard. Officials went over and talked to him on the side with that. That's Vikings now within 1, 35-34. Up on top is Caden Robelia. Robelia out to Stashik. And we're going to not have a shot. That foul is going to be charged on Elijah Ensminger.
Yeah, that's his 4th.
Inbounds bounce into Wolf, out on top to Robelia. Robelia back out to Bauer. Bauer for 3. And Spring Valley goes up by 4. Under 11 minutes to go, second half. Ensminger. Ensminger out on top to Fisher. Fisher back to Ensminger. Ensminger to Yarrington outside the arch. Fisher for 3. Doesn't go. Rebounded by Schwartz almost, or Ralph, and it was knocked out of his hands back to the Cardinals. Robelia up high on the far side to Stashik. Stashik, 3-pointers good. Spring Valley's starting to get hot outside the arch. 41-34, Spring Valley. 10-13 to go, second half. From the corner, that's Johnson. Missed, rebounded by Mason Wolf. Stashik, three-pointer, bounces out, tipped, back to the Cardinals. Well, let's see. And the official having some words with, well, let's see, with Jamison Bauer, but the foul actually was charged to Mason Wolf. 3 fouls for Wolf. Just under 10 minutes left, second half. Spring Valley 41, Colfax 34. Johnson, give and go to Fisher. Fisher picks up his dribble, gives it to Yarrington, and the Cardinals keep knocking the ball away. Yarrington back to Johnson. Johnson out to Hubdy, to Fisher. Fisher from 10, no good, rebounded by Stashik. Stashik taking it up the floor. Stashik ended up on the end line. So no basket there, or no shot even. Blake Johnson bounces it in to Hubdy, back to Johnson to set things up for the Vikings. Johnson outside the arch, top of the key, drives in left side of the lane, out to Fisher. Fisher stops, goes on to Ralph, back to Fisher. Fisher up from 10, hit the side, bounced out into the hands of Wolf. Wolf to Stashik. Stashik, free throw line right, inside to Wolf. Wolf going in with a shot on the right side and holding his arm straight up. Eli Ralph, doesn't matter, he's going to get a foul.
Yeah, that's a tough assignment by Eli Ralph. I mean, we're saying that Wolf is about 100 pounds heavier, and they're going to switch out, throw Logan Schwartz, and he's got height. He doesn't have the weight, but he's going to have a little extra height.
So on the free throw line, Mason Wolf, he's 6'6". Going to get 2 free throws. His team already leading. That one missed. Sorry, that was apparently 1 and 1. And we will have another foul. That one's going to be called on Trevor Forster, number 5. And we'll have the mop out there again to wipe up some moisture. So Mason Yarrington's going to throw it in to Blake Johnson. Johnson dribbling it near the center jump circle. Fires it in to Schwartz. And Spring Valley, he picks up the loose ball. Jamison Bauer out to Robelia, free throw line right to Stashik. Stashik going in for the layup and puts it in. Spring Valley now up by 11. It's 45-34, and Blake Johnson's shot cleared everything. So Spring Valley gets it back. Colfax girls host Elmwood Plum City Tuesday night. And the Viking boys are at Elk Mound Thursday night. Viking pregame starting at 6:40 for both of those, followed by the action on NLWN TV. Tuesday with the girls, NLWN 2 with the boys. Blake Johnson ends up stealing the ball away, and Northern Light Webcasting Network for both. Johnson fires it into Schwartz. Schwartz back to Johnson. Johnson goes up and in. Colfax within 9 now, and we have a timeout on the floor called by Mark Knoll of the Vikings. 7:34 left, second half. You're watching Colfax Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
Are your pooch's proportions putting on pounds? Or is your kitty's constitution constantly complaining?
Well, stop by and see the friendly folks at the Colfax Animal Hospital. Doctors Austin and Nikki Pritchard and their staff will be happy to help you get your family friend back on the road to healthy living. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Call them at 715-962-3380.
Dairy State Bank encourages you to save smarter for your retirement by maximizing possible tax advantages. We offer traditional, Roth, and rollover IRAs with a wide variety of investment options. It's not too late to invest up to $6,500 of possible tax-deferred earnings into an IRA for 2023 tax purposes, or $7,500 if you're 50 or better. Call or stop by for more information. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
Welcome back to Spring Valley. 7:34 remaining, second half. It's Colfax 36, Spring Valley 45. Vikings led by a point at the half. Spring Valley put in a bunch of threes and other shots and pulled back into the lead. Forrester with the ball for the Cardinals. Fires it off to the left to Stashik, in the middle to Robelia. Back out to Bauer. Bauer from the free throw line flips it into Wolf. Wolf took an extra step. So Colfax will get it right in front of the Spring Valley bench. From Hovde to Ensminger. Ensminger out to Fisher. Back to Hovde. Flips it back to Fisher. Fisher nearly caught on the baseline. Back out to Hovde. Hovde out to Johnson. Johnson looking for Ensminger. He comes around to help out. He'll fire his way back in there. Falling to the floor. Puts in the hoop. 45-38 Spring Valley. Colfax cuts the lead to 7. Stashik driving in. And we're going to have a foul called on Colfax's Logan Schwartz on the block. So that's going to send Cade Stashik to the free throw line for 2 for Spring Valley. Baseball is coming soon, and we'll have it here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Colfax Viking baseball starts April 1st, and then we'll begin carrying the Eau Claire Cavalier baseball team all summer. They battle through the Chippewa River Baseball League. That's coming up this spring. One of the free throws good, 46-38 Spring Valley. Holding the ball up high is Fisher, trying to get rid of it, finds Johnson. Johnson drives toward the lane, gives it back out to Hovde, then to Fisher. Fisher driving in, tries to go up, and he draws a foul. And Trevor Forrester. So Aiden Fisher's going to go to the line for 2. 6:13 left in the game. It's Spring Valley 46, Colfax 38. Fisher misses the first. And he will get a second. And that one slowly rolls over into the basket after hitting the front iron. 46-39, a 7-point Spring Valley lead over Colfax. Diego Schmidt. Schmidt out to Bauer. Bauer to Stashik. And the foul is going to be on Theo Hovde. That's Colfax's 5th foul. Back and forth on the left side. It's Schmidt. Schmidt outside the arch looking to go somewhere with it. Goes to Stashik. Stashik out to Robelia. Robelia to Schmidt. Dump it into the big man Wolf. He'll go back outside to Robelia, and he'll drain the three-pointer. 49-39, a 10-point Spring Valley lead. Hubney out to Fisher. Doesn't go. Rebounded by Mason Wolf. Stashik up the floor for the Cardinals. Into Bauer. Bauer from the corner missed. Great rebound by Aiden Fisher. Fisher heading up the floor as the ball poked at. He's going to go up and in for the basket. 49-41, Spring Valley leading Colfax by 8. 4:50 remaining in the second half. Out to Diego Schmidt. Schmidt to Stashik. Stashik driving, and we're going to have a shooting foul. That's going to go on Theo Hubney. That is his third foul. On the free throw line, Cade Stashik for the Cardinals. First free throw, good. Colfax girls host Elmwood Plum City Tuesday night. The boys on the road to Elk Mound Thursday night. Viking pregame begins for both at 6:40 p.m., followed by play-by-play action on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN TV for the girls, and NLWN2 for the boys. Timeout on the floor by Spring Valley as the second free throw goes through. 4:39 to go. Second half, you're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
Let Menominee Eye and Optical help you see the world for the beautiful place it is. Doctors Nicholas and Marianne Comroe provide both comprehensive and emergency eye care for all, including pediatric and special needs patients. Whether it's examination for glasses to cataract and LASIK care, or diagnosis and management of macular degeneration, diabetic retinopathy, glaucoma, and so much more. In addition, Menominee Eye and Optical's experienced opticians will help guide you to the highest quality eye care for the best value. That's Menominee Eye and Optical, located at 520 Wilson Avenue in Menominee, where they specialize in quality, personalized care for you and your family.
Earlier this morning, Puxatawney filled in Nazi's shadow. That means an early spring. With spring comes baseball, and we have quite a lineup for you on NLWN TV. We'll start with Colfax Vikings baseball beginning on April 1st, and they'll once again carry the Eau Claire Cavalier baseball team all summer as they battle through the Chippewa River Baseball League. Spring means plenty of baseball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. 51 for Spring Valley, 41 for Colfax, 4:39 left to go in the second half. Colfax will bring the ball up the floor. Fisher and Hubney. Inside to Schwartz. Schwartz on the corner of the lane trying to get it to Ensminger. Ensminger going up, and his shot doesn't go. Rebounded by Stashik. Stashik being guarded by Hubney. Stashik fires a pass into Diego Schmidt, and ripping it away from him is Schwartz. And going in there is Elijah Ensminger, and that is Ensminger's fifth.
Yeah, he can't call that one. It was clearly a block by Spring Valley. He got hit on the hip, not in the chest.
And so Elijah Ensminger is done for the night with 5 fouls. Bringing the ball up the floor is Stashik for the Cardinals. Cardinals, Schmidt in the middle to Robelia. Robelia out to Wolf. Wolf to Stashik. Stashik over to Bauer. Back to Robelia. Cardinals in no big hurry, looking for the good shot into Diego Schmidt. And that is going to be a foul on Mason Yarrington. The basket's going to count, and Schmidt's going to get one more. That's Mason Yarrington's first foul. Quiet gym for Diego Schmidt to try to finish off the three-point play. He does, and it's a 13-point Spring Valley lead, 54-41, 3:38 to go in the second half. Fisher to Yarrington. Yarrington for three, bangs around and rolls out. Rebounded by Wolf. Gets it to Stashik to set things up for the Cardinals. Stashik out to Robelia. Robelia to Bauer. Bauer down along the left side. One-handed pass out to Mason Wolf. Back to Stashik. Stashik's going to go up the middle, and we're going to have a reaching in foul on Aiden Fisher. No, they're going to say Hubdy instead. That's Theo's fourth foul. On the free throw line, Stashik for Spring Valley. 3:03 to go, second half. Spring Valley 54, Colfax 41, make it 55. Jay Fall, Dan Petshaw, camera operator Chris Olson, and executive producer Rick Olson with you from Spring Valley for Dunn St. Croix Conference. Colfax Viking Boys Basketball. Second free throw goes in as well, and it is now a 15-point Spring Valley lead. 3 minutes left in the game. Give and go to Yarrington. Yarrington at the top of the key, out to Fisher. Fisher to Johnson. Johnson, three-point attempt. It's caught on the back iron, rolls out. It's rebounded by Mason Wolf of the Cardinals. Wolf to Stashik. Stashik trying to go around a screen set by Schmidt. Stashik still has the ball. Theo Hovde guarding him close. Pass goes back to Bauer. Bauer to Stashik. Stashik out to Diego Schmidt. To Caden Robelia. Inside to Bauer. Bauer's going to bring it out. Give it to Stashik. Stashik out on the left side to Bauer. Bauer out to Schmidt. And we're going to have a pushing foul on Colfax's Blake Johnson. That's his first of the game. It's going to put Diego Schmidt on the line for the Cardinals. 2:04 left, second half. First shot missed. Orion Nichols is going to come into the game for Blake Johnson. While Schmidt gets his second foul. And the second free throw is good. And that puts Spring Valley up by 16 with 2 minutes to go. Aiden Fisher to Orion Nichols. Nichols out to Yarrington, to Fisher. And Fisher was fouled by Diego Schmidt. That's his third foul. That's the 10th foul of the half for Spring Valley. So, eighth foul. And the rebound by Diego Schmidt. Schmidt to Stashik. Stashik out to Bauer. To Schmidt, down free throw line left to Robelia. Robelia finds Stashik, down underneath to Schmidt. Back out to Bauer, inside it goes to Schmidt, who puts in a layup. 1:18 left to go in the game, and Spring Valley now leads by 18. Theo Hubde to Fisher. Fisher looked at a three ball. He's going to drive in, put it toward the hoop. It won't go. Rebounded by Stashik. Stashik up the floor to a wide-open Caden Robelia, who puts in the layup, and it is a 20-point Spring Valley lead. Yarrington out to Fisher, and we're going to have a tripping foul on Diego Schmidt. And we'll have a line change for the Cardinals. 47.3 seconds left in the game. On the free throw line for Colfax, Aiden Fisher. Spring Valley 61, Colfax 41, now 42. So the Viking boys not going to get any easier. They traveled to Elk Mound on Thursday night. Second free throw goes in as well, and now we'll have a line change for the Vikings as well. Girls host Elmwood Plum City on Tuesday night. Viking pregame for both of those starts about 6:40, play-by-play action afterwards. Here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN TV for the girls and NLWN 2 for the boys. Elijah Haug into the game now. Pass ends up over to Forster. They get it inside to Poland. And top of the key, a three-point shot. Missed, rebounded by the Vikings. That's Trey Larson. 22 seconds left. Larson goes to Grant Palowitz. Out on top to Hunter Roberts. Fires a pass to Trey Larson, out to Charlie Charbonneau. Over to Grant Palowitz. Palowitz out to Trey Larson. 6 seconds left. Trey Larson out to Hunter Roberts. Takes the shot. Doesn't make it. And that's the end of the game. The Spring Valley Cardinals defeat the Colfax Vikings by a score of 61-43. That makes the conference record for the Vikings 4-6, and their season mark 7-12. Spring Valley now 9-1 in the DSC, and they are 15-4 on the season. We invite you to stay tuned for Viking postgame. That's coming your way next. Tonight's Colfax Viking basketball game is brought to you by the Colfax Animal Hospital. Let Doctors Austin and Nikki Pritchard and their friendly staff take care of your pet. C&K Construction, your concrete experts for the Chippewa Valley. Dairy State Bank, where they're banking on relationships. Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for Western Wisconsin. Anderson Bridges, who have been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. Slayton's Technology, IT provider for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Menominee Eye and Optical, with quality, personalized care for you and your family. And Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax, comfort food the way Mom used to make it. Be sure to thank these fine sponsors for bringing you Colfax Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN 2.
If your estate isn't looking quite estate-like, let Midwest Environmental Consultants landscape your estate right up to snuff with installation of retaining walls, brick patios, foundation planting beds, and so much more. Then they'll keep it that way with their expert lawn care service. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants help make your estate the showplace of the neighborhood.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver. And we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
You have been tuned to Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. This copyrighted production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and Colfax High School is intended for the enjoyment of the viewing and listening audience. Any broadcast, rebroadcast, or reproduction in part or in whole in any form without the express written consent of the Northern Light Webcasting Network LLC and Colfax High School is prohibited. Stay tuned Coming up next is Viking Postgame with a look back at today's game.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Time now for Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking Boys game. And now, Viking Postgame.
Welcome back to Spring Valley. Mark Knoll, the head coach of the Colfax Viking Boys, here with us. And Mark, a tough one in the first half. You know, your guys fought back from a big deficit and then struggled in the second half.
Yeah, you know, in the first half, we were down right away 13-0, and then we went on a 26-12 run to finish that first half. So that's amazing. We outscored them 26-12. So I told the boys, that's what we're capable of when we lock in. You know, and we had to take a lot of energy to get to that 1-point lead at halftime, and that was with Fisher on the bench with 2 fouls, or 3 fouls, whatever it was. I couldn't afford him to get another one. So we had to take that risk of sitting him. And then in the same as the second half, I started Logan because he took those 2 big offensive charges, and he got a bucket, and he was rebounding, so it was his night, you know, over Ralph. Nothing against Ralph. It was Logan's night, right? It's about the team. In the second half, we just couldn't get to the free throw line like we wanted to, you know, and that's the difference in the game, you know what I mean? And we just need to be more aggressive. We need to be stronger with the ball when we drive, and we got to get our jump stops and pivots and be stronger.
Yeah, the margin was 36-17 as far as scoring in the second half. Doesn't get any easier.
No.
A week from, or this coming Thursday,
The
playing
first
Elk Mound.
5-6 minutes of the second half, we were right there. We were right where we wanted to be.
Yep.
Because I felt like the pressure was going to get on them if we could have kept it there to the end of the game. But they kind of broke things open. Elijah got 4 fouls, and that hurts us, right? That's our leader. That's our scorer. And then Aiden's our second leading scorer. He sat most of the first half. So now I got Elijah sitting most of the second half. I got Aiden sitting. That was huge.
Yeah.
And we competed with those guys. And the other guys I thought Ryan stepped up. I thought Logan stepped up. Blake stepped up at times on defense. You know, did a great job on defense. So there's positives to get from tonight. And it's on the road against a really good team.
Yeah.
You know, that's fighting to win a conference championship. So, yes, we go to Elk Mound. Doesn't get any easier. It'll be just like tonight where it's a physical, strong game. I expect to have a lot of fun next week with that game. At least we got till Thursday to get ready for it.
Sounds good. Mark, thanks for talking with us, and look forward to seeing you again next week.
Yep, thanks you guys for doing this. Appreciate it.
Mark Knoll, head coach of the Colfax Vikings, and we will take a break, and we'll be back to run down the scoring and wrap it up. The Colfax Vikings 43, Spring Valley Cardinals 61. Go ahead. Yeah, let's take a look at the scoring.
Yeah, let's do that. Here's the scores tonight for Spring Valley. They're led by number 2, Cade Station. He had 20 points. Kid Mobility had 8. We had Bartko with 2. Schmidt had 9. Bauer had 8. And Mason Wolf had 10. For the Vikings, they're led tonight by number 10, Elijah Ensminger. He had 20 points. Ian Fisher had 7. Ryan Nichols had 7. Blake Johnson had 7. And Logan Schwartz had 2. 61-43 is your final.
So the Colfax boys now 4-6 in the Dun St. Croix, 7-12 on the season. And they will play Thursday night at conference co-leader Elk Mound, and that will be Thursday night on NLWN 2. And the girls will host Elmwood Plum City on Tuesday night. That game on YouTube and NLWN TV, both on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, and we hope that you'll join us for that. For executive producer Rick Olson, our camera operator Chris Olson, and Dan Petcha, I'm Jay Fall. Appreciate you joining us. Thanks. Good night and have a great weekend.
You've been listening to Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking Boys game. You can catch Colfax Vikings games by tuning in to any of the Northern Light Webcasting Network outlets. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.